I was looking through photos of my past years riding, and it got me thinking about motorcycles. Shocking, I know. But it's not about horsepower or torque or different brands of tires. More about, what is it about motorcycles themselves that I love so much? What is it that, in my mind, makes a motorcycle great, and what is it that turns me off? Earlier this year, I took a Royal Enfield for a spin. It had about 6 horses of pure, unadulterated power, and rode not unlike a tractor. It certainly wouldn't be everyone's first choice of a motorcycle, but I loved it. Before that, I rented a Moto Guzzi V7 Stone down in the deserts around Palm Springs, California. The second I twisted the throttle, I knew 2 things. 1, this bike was different. It felt odd. It sort of gyrated when you gave it gas in neutral. It looked vaguely like a toaster. The second thing I knew, I loved it. On January 5th, 2024, just a few days after the new year began, I bought a used Triumph Bonneville T120 Black. It had been a bunch of years since I'd ridden a motorcycle, and I spent much of the year before riding scooters. So when I sat down on the Bonnie for the first time and fired it up, I knew 2 things. 1, it was going to be a long, cold 300-mile ride home. And 2, I loved it. Top speed and electronics have little to do with a motorcycle's character. Torque, exhaust note, color, vibrations, these all directly contribute to the character of a bike. The bike's behavior when you twist the throttle, how it sparkles in the sun, an engine and exhaust sound that makes you want to rev it up at stoplights. Most of this stuff you won't find listed on the specs, at least not as anything other than a metric. Torque, for example, can be measured and assigned a numeric value, but you can't measure the feeling that torque provides relative to the rest of the bike's characteristics. Does it feel right? Does it make you want to ride? Or is it just there? When I find myself daydreaming about motorcycles, and I do find myself doing that quite often, I'm never imagining clinical, precise marvels of modern engineering. I'm thinking about that sound. I'm thinking about the grin that grows on my face when I hear my Scrambler 900 spool up. No amount of technical perfection will ever match that sound, for me anyway. Character is absolutely subjective. I own 2 watches. My Apple Watch costs way too much, does way too many things, and will be obsolete by the end of the year, if not sooner. My Hamilton khaki watch costs about $500, which you might think is absurd for a watch, but I'll have that watch for the rest of my life. It's dead on balls accurate. It does nothing other than tell the time, and to my eye, its simplicity makes it one of the most beautiful things I own. It has character. When talking about value for money, one could argue that the Apple Watch gives you much more value for money than the Hamilton. It tells time, has a calendar, an altimeter, GPS. It's got more technology than my truck. The Apple Watch is a disposable piece of tech I've got no emotional attachment to whatsoever, no matter how well it works or how many things it can do. I watched a video the other night from a rider named Adam Sandoval, whom I know nothing about. He was defending Harley-Davidson motorcycles against a video made by a dude named Yami Noob, and he was spot on. Yami Noob spends a lot of time in his video saying that Harleys don't offer a lot of value for money, and that he just doesn't get it. Adam's argument is, in a nutshell, value is in the eye of the beholder. A lot of us tend to value character over performance, and if you're not like that, you probably don't get it either. I'll always invest more of my time and money into a bike that has character, especially when that character is coupled with quality. That's why I love the Scrambler 900 so much. What about my Tiger 900? Well, I love that bike too, and it has character, but it's harder for me to define that character. Both the Scrambler and the Tiger are both high-quality machines, but I have a deep emotional bond with the Scrambler, where the Tiger is more like my Apple Watch. It's fantastic and does everything, but it doesn't have the soul that the Scrambler does, even though it's twice as capable. It has a different kind of character. When the triple spools up, it sounds outrageously good, but it's not the kind of sound I daydream about. Does that make sense? I think as I grow older, character becomes the defining thing I look for in just about everything, be it motorcycles or food or people. And my definition of character continues to evolve and become more expensive. But that's another video. I traded my Vespa over the summer because, while it had character, I don't think that character was matched with quality. Sadly, I find modern Vespas a bit lacking when it comes to fit and finish, and that's not a character trait I want to live with. The holy grail of motorcycles is finding that bike that speaks to your soul while at the same time is built like a Swiss watch. My fear is that as time goes on and manufacturing becomes more expensive, more motorcycles will turn into what it looks like the Vespa is turning into. Not only will they lose quality as manufacturers cut corners, but the character will suffer as well. Some of it might be inevitable. As emission standards increase around the globe, manufacturers are forced to make their bikes more efficient, quieter, and let's face it, boring. That's a small price to pay for saving the environment, I guess, but it's sad to see nonetheless. Maybe I'm just your typical older guy, dreaming longingly of the days when things were made better, and we walked uphill both ways to school, and we valued the character of a person over their productivity. Maybe we'll see character be stripped away from new bikes in the future in favor of performance and the bottom line. Until then, character is the thing I seek when I daydream about motorcycles. And as time goes on, as measured on my analog but beautiful to me watch, it's character that will always provide the best value for money when it comes to motorcycles. I'm interested in hearing how you define a motorcycle's character and whether or not it's something you value above most else when it comes to buying a bike. Drop a note in the comments. Happiest of holidays to you, and I really look forward to this channel's second year. Thank you for all the support and kind encouragement. It means so much to me.